Please do not harass or attempt to intimidate anybody involved in this situation. It doesn't help anything and only makes shit worse. This video will include the following: self-diagnosing, ableism, hypocrisy, using mental health as a weapon, harassment, sewer baiting, SH, and CP. If these topics trigger you or make you uncomfortable, you should find another video to watch. Everything after this will be some of the things me and my friends could document on an individual known as Rem, also known as Soiree, Amai, Mafezia, Renako, and Rena. Now, who's this person? Well, Rem is a 12-year-old Instagram animator. Usually I wouldn't make a video criticizing a child like this because I just think kids don't know any better, but this is a case where the child has been repeatedly told to stop and that the behavior is extremely harmful, abusive, and all around disgusting. I want you to know that I didn't want to make this video because it really hurts me to read this shit out loud. You can tell by my voice and stuff. I just don't like reading this. I would like to say that I'm not going to be saying my experience with Rem in this video out loud. I will link it in the document in the description because it gives me panic attacks to read it out loud. All you need to know is that Rem harassed me, was transphobic towards me, told me to kill, cut myself, and do horrible things to myself, called me awful things, and was manipulative our whole friendship. But I'm going to be going through everything, or at least some of the things in the document we have on them. All the evidence will be linked down below. You know how I sometimes call my fanbase a cult as a joke? Well, Rem's server is one of the closest things I've seen to a cult in a while. The entire server is basically an echo chamber where they get absolutely zero criticism or outside opinion on their behavior. The entire server spams NSFW things, even though all of them are under the age of 15. And even when people state they're comfortable, Rem likes to play the victim. One of the members and my friend had an addiction to this type of stuff in the past, and Rem knew this but kept spamming porn to them, even when people were clearly uncomfortable. His server also validates every belief he has, every disgusting action. He once made a copy pasta off of somebody's sexual assault. I'm not joking. That's genuinely disgusting, Rem. You don't get to play the victim here. He made himself out to be a victim, saying that the person's assault he just mocked was being dramatic. The whole server validated this and said that Rem was in the right here. The server is one of the main reasons Rem is like this. They're not willing to have anyone dispute their views. This also shows with their partner/best friend, Sylv, who will absolutely validate anything and everything they say because they don't really have a personality. They would also, in the server, they would also ping everybody and ask for self-harming tips and say how much they wanted to kill themselves, knowing that all of us had struggled with self-harm and suicidal thoughts. Rem blames absolutely everything on his mental health, his quote-unquote BPD and DID, which I'll get into later. Don't at me. So you will need a bit of context here. Tabs is a friend of mine, and they had a very bad experience with Rem, mainly Rem fake claiming their BPD and stalking Tabs afterwards. So one night randomly, after they had all made up, because me and Rem were friends at this point, Rem randomly came up to them and asked for self-harming tips. This isn't the only time that he was looking for attention by self-harming. They have faked their suicide on live streams multiple times, as many as 5 times I believe. And as said before, Rem would use the @everyone ping on Discord and ask for self-harm tips and suicide tips and how many pills it would take to kill him. He would then get mad at us when nobody responded or was online, and force everybody to apologize. He constantly uses suicide and self-harm as a threat, but when somebody says they had a breakdown over some of the shit Rem's done, he usually says, "If anything, you gave me a panic attack." Or, "Well, I do that to everyone," as if that diminishes the fact you triggered them intentionally. He also got so damn pissy over Tabs making a tweet that never even mentioned them, which resulted in an argument where Rem would constantly project everything they do onto Tabs. He says he doesn't know why people say he blames his mental health. Because you do, Rem. Everything you do, you blame on your self-diagnosed personality disorders, which you change every goddamn month. Speaking of, now, before you come at me whining about how I'm ableist, slow your roll. I have a friend with psychosis who I asked about this. I myself have borderline personality disorder. Tabs also has personality disorder. Rem fakes borderline personality disorder, being a system, and having psychosis. They self-diagnose themselves and still say they have it even after they admit their psychiatrist debunked their claims. They use it to defend everything they do despite not knowing, well, much about BPD. He thinks a favorite person is just a best friend. I myself have 2 favorite people, and it's not just a best friend. He treats it like it's just a person you really like. He said he's looking into other personality disorders he might have. Let me explain something right now, Rem. No. No. Do not do that, because we all know you're gonna use it to excuse your shitty actions. Rem, you're one of the reasons why people think BPD, DID, psychosis are dangerous, because you use them as an excuse to excuse your shitty actions when you don't even have them, which is ableist as hell. You being dramatic isn't BPD. You liking role-playing isn't DID. You being constantly selfish and self-centered isn't psychosis. Let's go into DID, since I think it's probably the most offensive one so far. Before they diagnosed themselves with DID, they never did any of this shit. They acted pretty normal, they show no alters, they even said that they didn't have DID. Rem uses their Mary Sue OC-MI as one of their alters, claiming they're now Asian because the OC was Asian too. He would use this to say slurs like dyke and the N-word and spam gore and porn, and he even made me click a link which caused me to have a panic attack because I'm super sensitive to gore. He also has around 30 alters that all showed up randomly one day. I'm not kidding. I know people can have a lot of alters, but they all showed up randomly one day. I'm not a doctor or anything, but Rem also believes that anxiety isn't a mental disorder, which is fucking stupid and ableist as hell. I didn't know where to add this next part, so I'm gonna add it here. So, when Rem joined my server, they started making a bunch of nasty sexual jokes and rape jokes that made a bunch of people uncomfortable. I wasn't online at the time, but he went to this person called High Five, I think, and started mocking their triggers. Even though it says in my rules, if you make somebody uncomfortable, you gotta shut up and leave. Rem, why do you intentionally make people uncomfortable, and what? Why do you make people incredibly uncomfortable with what you say and do when you say you're a grooming victim and that sexual things make you uncomfortable? You'll find out what that means at the end. Let's go on to the next point. Rem likes to make group chats to usually attack an innocent person with all their friends, usually telling them to kill themselves and to harm themselves and play the victim when they retaliate. It's like poking a angry dog with a stick and crying when you get your face ripped off. This isn't the only thing. Rem loves to spam porn to people even when they say they're uncomfortable. Most of the porn is of underage characters. Rem, you're pressuring people into sexual conversations. Do you not find anything wrong with that? This is not funny. Nobody ever finds this fucking funny. You are so goddamn annoying with this bullshit. It is illegal to send porn as a minor. Not only that, but it's of characters that are 5 to 16 years old. God. So, yeah, he sends porn of children. I'm not joking, literal children. You make everybody so uncomfortable, and you wonder why everybody hates you. Is this me saying I want you to die? Of fucking course not. And I know you're gonna make this out like, oh, I'm just attacking you even though you did nothing. You do shit, Rem. You do shit to make people hate you. I don't want you dead. I don't want you to hurt. But god damn it, you do things to make people hate you. And here are the 2 main things that pushed me to make this video. So from here on out, it's going to get very dark. Rem pretends to have a delusional attachment to Junko, Furuta, and Roro-chan. For those who aren't aware, massive trigger warning here, like really big trigger warning. Junko Furuta was a 17-year-old girl who was brutally, really brutally tortured and raped over 44 days and was buried in cement. And it was extremely gruesome, and it was described as being the worst pain a human can go through. And Roro-chan was a girl who killed herself on live stream. Rem claims to kin Junko and Roro-chan, saying that he is them because he has dreams of being them and calls them memories. He says he literally is them, and he knows how he knows all the pain and shit. Rem, it is taking all my energy not to smash a hole through this fucking computer screen. Okay, this is unscripted. It is taking so much energy to not punch a hole through my computer screen reading the script. You are not Junko. You will never be Junko. You are an attention-seeking, edgy 12-year-old with no talent. You have never and will never go through the shit she went through. You know nothing about her besides that goddamn murder. You are absolutely fucking irredeemable. In my opinion, though, what could be worse than that is that he convinced me and a ton of other people that he was groomed. Some of my long-term viewers might know about the Hazen Kenji situation, and that Kenji apparently groomed Rem, also known as Rena. Rem decided to keep the details away from me about what really happened. Rem had lied and said they were 15 at the time when the sexual conversations happened. Kenji was 16 to 17. This is the part that made me want to vomit when I found out. I'm not joking. Kenji is an absolutely terrible person, but I feel so guilty for that I led the community to believe we have a predator on our hands. Kenji is a shit person, and they're not a sexual groomer. I feel so stupid for not realizing that Rem was essentially baiting Kenji, especially with the lack of evidence Rem had. Kenji, I don't know if you're watching this, but I have permanently deleted all the videos I have of you, and I'm sorry. Rem has pushed me to my limits. Rem is a terrible person. This is my conclusion. And the only way I see them changing is if they get out of their echo chamber and take a fully fledged break. No internet, no screens. Some of you may be wondering why I'm even making this video. Rem has connections. In the past, they've tried to contact YouTubers to cancel me and get my channel, and I'm almost certain they're trying to gather evidence on me right now. Well, I'd love to see your reaction to this one, Rem. That's all I have for today, Stalkers. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.